A monk stared at a roasted chicken placed beside him while a young man stood nearby, tightening his belt and drooling with hunger. If the man even tried to come closer to smell the chicken, the monk would shout and scold him loudly. This was the first trial of the 37 chambers of Shaolin, the trial of hunger, meant to test whether students could resist the temptation of food. When mealtime finally came, the man devoured 40 bowls of rice in one sitting, but just as he was about to go to the bathroom, a fat monk stopped him and told him to hold it in. This was the second test, the trial of endurance. Desperate, he rushed aside, clamped his legs together, and held a horse stance, but it still didn't help. Next was the trial of pain. The fat monk asked him to place his fingers on a wooden fish, then struck it forcefully with a mallet. A sharp surge of pain ran through his fingertips, and the man gritted his teeth as cold sweat formed on his forehead. Before he even had time to recover, they placed him inside a huge vat of boiling water, making his skin turn bright red. Just when he started getting used to the heat, the monk poured a tub of ice-cold water beside him. This was the cold endurance test, yet the man still sat there firmly, determined to learn Kung Fu at Shaolin. Seeing his strong determination, the monk moved on to the trial of itching. He took a feather and began tickling the man's neck and armpits repeatedly. The man tightened all his muscles and his face turned red, but he refused to laugh. Then the monk poured a bucket of ants over his body. Their bites burned his skin, but the man remained perfectly still, standing like a statue. Finally, the monk agreed to accept him as a disciple. The man was overjoyed, but he couldn't control himself and suddenly let out a loud fart. The fat monk stared at him in shock and confirmed that the sound came from him. The final test had actually been the trial of silence, where he had to hold in even a fart. Because he failed, the monk kicked him out of Shaolin. After suffering so much for nothing, the man was devastated and burst into tears. Later, while walking through the streets, he noticed a powerful man standing shirtless while swords and spears bounced off his body without harming him. Wanting to learn this amazing skill, the man immediately fell to his knees and begged the warrior to accept him as a student. He even presented a gold bar as an offering. After training for some time, he became convinced that he had mastered the ultimate technique and was now ready to travel the world and build a famous reputation. Before he set out, his master gave him a strong set of armor and advised him to go face the world, reminding him that the real challenges were still waiting for him outside.